This is John Marshall. He was once Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. He made some very important court decisions that had long-lasting effects. Let's take a brief look at one of them, Fletcher v. Peck. It all started in 1783 when the Treaty of Paris was signed to end the Revolution. As a result, the United States got the land westward, all the way to the Mississippi. As a part of this, Georgia got this chunk of land right here, which were called the Yazoo lands, which were named after a tribe of Native Americans who lived there. In 1795, this land was divided and sold in what is known as the Yazoo Land Act of 1795. Turns out, this act was only approved in return for bribes by corrupt individuals. Because of this, voters of Georgia voted for a new legislature at the next election, and those lawmakers passed a law that voided all land transactions under the Yazoo Land Act of 1795. In the midst of all this, John Peck was a land speculator who obtained some land from the Yazoo Land Act of 1795, and he sold some to another man, Robert Fletcher.
Hey, Peck, can I buy some of that land?
Which
Just
parts do you?
Just like right here.
Okay,
All of this right here.
all of it? Okay.
All of that.
So
Okay.
just sign here and you
Okay.
get all of it.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for doing business.
What's going on here? I mean, I bought this land from Peck, and now it's being revoked from me. I think he's trying to cheat me out of my money.
Did you actually have ownership of this land?
What?
The state says otherwise.
What land?
The land that you sold me.
Oh. I mean.
Did you have ownership of the land?
I think so. I mean, maybe you can go to the States and they can sort things out, you know? Maybe.
Okay, let's make one thing clear. This is my land. I didn't get this from, secondhand store, shady type business.
What right does the government have to take away my land? I thought in America my property rights are protected.
Hey, so I have this contract, and I bought some of this land from Mr. Peck, and I was wondering if I could go ahead and make sure I got that land.
Well, we deemed that this land was obtained in a corrupt manner, so I'm afraid you're not going to get this land.
Yeah, but I have this contract, and this contract states that I will get the land.
Well, the state legislature has voided this contract, and we say that you aren't allowed to get this land because of the way it was obtained. If you want to do anything about it, you're going to have to go to court.
Okay, I will make sure to do that. I'm going to get my land.
I will definitely take this to the Supreme Court. I will get my land that I rightfully bought.
I, John Marshall of the Supreme Court of the United States, hereby declare that the repeal of the Yazoo Land Act was unconstitutional because it violates Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 of the Constitution, which upholds contracts. Because of this, your portion of land that was brought by Mr. Fletcher belongs to him.
Now, a brief overview of the case. Part 1 is the issue. Robert Fletcher had the issue that he signed a legal contract to land, and the state of Georgia basically said, nope, you don't get this land, because some other dude was corrupt, so we decided to repeal the act that gave him the land, and thus, you don't get the land in the end. So Robert Fletcher decided to take this to court. Part 2 was the decision. The Supreme Court under John Marshall stated that the repeal of the Yazoo Land Act of 1795 was unconstitutional because it violated the sanctity of contracts, which was protected by the Constitution. Part 3 is the lasting effects. Firstly, it gave protection to property rights and upheld legally binding contracts. More importantly, however, this court ruling asserted that the Supreme Court could invalidate and overrule state laws and decisions that are antithetical to the Constitution. Hey,